Our school bus driver showed up drunk, ripped out the emergency exit handles, and ranted about his divorce while speeding toward a crosswalk full of preschoolers with 28 terrified kids trapped on board. The driver, Mr. Caldwell, leaned in close and bellowed, "Move it! I ain't got all day!" His words slurred, his balance shaky, barely able to stand upright. But here's the thing about Mr. Caldwell. He'd been driving for a decade, so everyone in our small town of Willow Creek trusted him. Kids climbed onto the bus without a second thought. It wasn't until we were 10 minutes into the ride, when he ran over a raccoon, that my stomach started to twist. "Mr. Caldwell," I said, my voice small, "maybe you should ease up on the gas." His bloodshot eyes locked onto mine in the rearview mirror. "You trying to get me canned, kid?" Then he cranked the heater to full blast. It was late September in Willow Creek, a storm raging outside, and the windows fogged up so fast we couldn't see a thing. "Anyone else got something to say?" he snarled. "That's what I thought." My brain kicked into overdrive, listing every reason we were in deep trouble. We were on the back roads of rural Willow County, miles from anywhere. The storm had knocked out cell service. Just my luck. I tried the emergency exit, pushed the bar, nothing. I scrambled to the back exit. Still nothing. Mateo, this kid who usually spent the ride cracking dumb jokes, pointed out what we'd all missed. "Yo, the emergency exit handles are gone, like someone took 'em out with tools." My heart sank. We were trapped. Mr. Caldwell had made sure of it. When we hit the first stop sign, I prayed he'd stop. He didn't even slow down, just barreled through. Sophia's little sister was supposed to get off there. "Please, Mr. Caldwell," I said, standing despite the bus lurching. "Just pull over for a second. Let us off. We won't say a word." "Sit down," he roared, spit flying. "You just lost your bus privileges. I know where you kids live. I can get you expelled." The heat was suffocating, the fear worse. Kids started breaking down. My 6-year-old sister, Elena, was sobbing, her tiny face streaked with tears. The kindergartner across from her had wet his pants. Everyone was texting, but the messages wouldn't send. Just spinning wheels and message failed. Then Diego, the school bully nobody liked, stood up beside me. "Man, just stop the bus." Mr. Caldwell laughed a chilling, unhinged cackle. "Oh, the big shot wants to throw punches? What are you gonna do? Beat up an old man?" That's when he nearly killed us all. A car was coming straight at us. He saw it. We all saw it. He locked eyes with me in the mirror and smirked. "No way, no freaking way." Before I could process it, he jerked the wheel right toward them. "That'll teach 'em to honk at me," Elena screamed. Kids slammed into windows. My ribs smashed against the seat. The bus filled with cries and Mr. Caldwell's manic rambling. 10 years. 10 damn years driving you brats. But does my wife care? She just wants my money." His knuckles were white on the wheel. "Take my house, take my kids, but I still show up." The speedometer climbed. 40, 45, 50. School zone signs flashed by, their blinking lights screaming 25 miles per hour, children present. He floored it. "Mr. Caldwell," I shouted. "Shut up, all of you, shut up." We blew through an intersection, cars swerving, horns blaring. He took a swig from a bottle wrapped in a brown paper bag. I knew this route like the back of my hand. In 2 miles, we'd hit the main crossing by Willow Creek Elementary, where Mrs. Rivera, the crossing guard, would be with her line of preschoolers. "Mr. Caldwell," Sophia tried, her voice trembling. "The crossing guard's up ahead?" "Good," he snapped. "Maybe this'll teach people to respect what I do." Through the fogged windows, I saw them. Mrs. Rivera in her neon vest, a line of toddlers clutching their rope, waiting to cross, little animal backpacks bobbing. They had no idea a 2-ton death machine was hurtling toward them. Diego looked at me. I looked at him. Our eyes flicked to the red emergency lever above the driver's seat, the one they tell you never to touch unless it's life or death. Well, this was it. I lunged for it. Mr. Caldwell saw me, reached to grab me, but Bully Diego yanked him back hard. My hand closed around the lever, and I pulled with every ounce of strength. Brakes screeched. We flew forward. My head cracked against something metal, blood in my mouth, but we stopped. 10 feet from the crosswalk, 10 feet from those tiny giraffe backpacks. The doors hissed open. That's what the lever does, opens everything. Kids scrambled out, Mr. Caldwell grabbing at them, screaming about conspiracies and ungrateful kids. Diego filmed him stumbling around the empty bus, yelling at nobody. Mr. Caldwell was still in his seat when the cops arrived, insisting we'd framed him to get him fired. They found 3 empty vodka bottles under his seat. His blood alcohol was twice the legal limit. But here's what haunted me. A week later, when our parents finally let us back on a bus, we learned the truth. Mr. Caldwell had been reported for drinking 3 times before he nearly killed us. 3 parents had smelled booze on him, and the Willow Creek School District buried every single report. The cop interviewing me let it slip. "You kids weren't the first to notice," he said, flipping through his notes. "Just the first ones they couldn't cover up." 2 days later, in history class, Lucas Perez leaned over. "Yo, my dad drinks with Caldwell at O'Malley's every Friday," he whispered, loud enough for others to hear. "Said the guy got divorce papers that morning, right before our route." My stomach churned. So we were just... what? Pawns in his breakdown? The next morning, Principal Vargas called an assembly, her face plastered with fake concern. "Students, I want to address the incident." She called it a medical episode. Diego stood up mid-speech. "Medical episode?" He cranked his phone's volume, and Mr. Caldwell's voice filled the auditorium. "Take my house. Take my kids. But I still show up." You could hear kids crying, the engine roaring, him ranting about his wife. Vargas went pale. "Diego, sit down now." "Nah," he said, letting the video play. Teachers rushed him, but he'd already sent it to half the school. By lunch, everyone had seen it. That night, Elena woke up screaming again. 3rd time that week. "The yellow monster's here! It's gonna get the babies!" she cried. "There's no bus, Elena. You're safe." She clung to me for 2 hours, asking if the preschoolers with the giraffe backpacks were okay. "They're fine. Everyone's fine." "Promise?" "Promise." My parents were furious. Dad was on the phone all night with other parents. Mom typed furiously, documenting everything. They filed a complaint with 12 other families. The emergency school board meeting was packed. Superintendent Dr. Larson, in his tailored suit, acted like we were overreacting. "This was an isolated incident. We're conducting a thorough review." "Isolated?" a mom shouted. "My son won't sleep. He's 8 and on anxiety meds." "We understand your concerns." "No, you don't," another parent snapped. "You weren't on that bus." Mateo's mom, a data analyst, raised her hand. "I found something in public records." She held up a folder. Complaint from 2 years ago. Parent reported Caldwell smelling like alcohol. Marked unsubstantiated by Carla Esposito. The room exploded. Another from last year and one from 2 months before this. All alcohol related. All dismissed by Carla Esposito. Carla, the transportation supervisor, stood up. "I investigated each complaint thoroughly. There was never evidence." "You never asked me," shouted Marco Ruiz, the bus mechanic, from the back. 20 years fixing those buses, and you never once asked me to check for bottles." "That's not protocol," Carla stammered. "I found 3 bottles last month under his seat. Told you. You said to mind my own business." Dad pulled me aside after. Marco whispered something that made Dad's jaw tighten. Someone posted Diego's video online that night. By dinner, it had 40,000 views. Caption: "This is what Willow Creek Schools calls a medical episode." By morning, news vans lined up Channel 5, Channel 9, even national outlets. The district couldn't pretend anymore. Dr. Larson went on TV, lying through his teeth. "We followed all protocols. The emergency exits were likely jammed by students." Diego texted me a zoomed-in frame from his video, tool marks where the handles were removed, clear as day. "Sending this to the news," he wrote. 3 kids from other routes came forward the next day. Mia Lopez's mom had dashcam footage of Caldwell running a red light with a full bus 2 weeks earlier. Another kid said he swerved into traffic last month. "We weren't special," Mateo said at lunch. "We were just the ones who caught him." Elena started therapy but wouldn't talk. She drew picture after picture of a yellow monster with glowing eyes eating stick figures. "She used to draw flowers," Mom whispered to Dad, crying over the drawings. "Now it's just this." The district's lawyer sent us letters official letterhead, threatening legal consequences for spreading unverified information. Mom laughed, a bitter sound. "They care more about lawsuits than kids' safety." "We should frame it," Dad said. "Proof of their priorities." Something felt wrong about how the district kept citing protocols, while 3 parents' complaints about Caldwell's drinking went nowhere, all marked unsubstantiated by Carla Esposito. I started writing everything down, every conversation, every date, every lie. Mateo helped me build a timeline on his laptop. Monday, Caldwell missed 3 stops. Tuesday, he took a wrong turn and yelled at a kid who pointed it out. Wednesday, he was 20 minutes late. "It was building up," Mateo said, "like a bomb." Sophia's mom, Elena Torres, a paralegal, got parents together at the Willow Creek Library. "We need evidence before they destroy it. I've filed FOIA requests for all emails mentioning Caldwell from the last 3 years. "Can they ignore those?" someone asked. "They can try," she said, "but I know judges who don't like districts hiding child safety issues." At the next board meeting, the room was standing room only. When they tried to go into private session, Elena Torres stood up. Per State Law Section 12.174, student safety discussions must be public unless they involve specific medical records. She read from her phone. "You can't hide this." Dr. Larson looked like he wanted to snap. "We're following legal counsel." "Your counsel's wrong. I have the Attorney General's opinion right here." They stayed public but spewed vague jargon about procedures and investigations. The next Monday, Principal Vargas called me in, then Diego, Mateo, and Mia, one by one. "I just want to ensure we have the story straight," she said to me. "Sometimes fear makes us misremember." "I remember everything clearly." "Are you sure?" "Mr. Caldwell says you kids were disruptive. Maybe that's why he seemed upset. He was drunk. That's a serious accusation. It's a fact. 3 vodka bottles." She leaned forward. "Sometimes things aren't what they seem. Maybe he was just having a rough day. Are you trying to make me change my story?" "I'm just ensuring you remember correctly." Diego recorded his entire meeting. His dad, Javier Morales, told him to record everything after that threat letter. Good call, because Vargas tried the same, "Are you sure?" routine on him over and over. Things got wilder when Caldwell's ex-wife messaged Mom on social media. "I warned them 6 months ago during the divorce," she wrote. "I told Carla Esposito he was drinking and dangerous. She said without proof, they couldn't act. I said, what more proof do you need than his wife of 15 years? Nobody listened." Mom forwarded it to Elena Torres immediately. Clara Mendoza, a former bus driver who quit last year, reached out next. I reported Caldwell showing up drunk. Carla told me to shut up or I'd lose my job. I quit instead. I kept the emails. She sent them email after email of Carla threatening her job, telling her to stop making waves, suggesting she reconsider her employment. The district announced an internal review, but barred parents and students from the committee. For your protection, they said. Protection from what? Dad asked at dinner. The truth? Elena had a panic attack at school over a yellow crayon. A crayon. The teacher called Mom, and we spent the afternoon at the hospital adjusting her anxiety meds. She's 6, Mom kept saying. 6 years old, needing anxiety medication. Trauma doesn't care about age, the doctor said. Half the kids stopped coming to school. Parents refused to use buses. My science class had 7 kids instead of 24. Teachers looked drained, fielding constant calls from worried parents. 3 weeks later, state investigators, not the local ones who golfed with Dr. Larson, arrived with badges and no patience for nonsense. We need to speak with each student individually, the lead investigator told parents. No school officials present. They set up at the Willow Creek Community Center. When it was my turn, the woman listened, scribbling every word, asking sharp follow-ups. Did anyone check the exits before that day? I don't know. We trusted they worked. Who told you to stop talking about this? Principal Vargas suggested we might be misremembering. She wrote faster. I check exits everywhere now, I admitted. Theaters, stores, restaurants. It's the first thing I do. Mateo texted me that night. Yo, I counted exits at Target. Normal? I do it too, I replied. The therapist Mom made me see called it hypervigilance. Trauma's fault. Whatever. I'll never trust an exit works without checking it myself. Carla Esposito announced her retirement 2 days after the investigators left. The district said it was unrelated, but Marco texted Dad. She was told quit or be fired, took the pension. Someone leaked emails to Channel 5. Dr. Larson telling Carla to handle it quietly after the second complaint about Caldwell. He knew, the whole time. We need a lawyer, Elena Torres told the parent group. Class action. 23 families joined. The district's response? They canceled all field trips for the year, citing unexpected legal expenses. They're punishing the kids for us speaking up, Mom said. Diego showed up to school in a homemade shirt. I survived bus 19. Vargas suspended him for disrupting the learning environment. Javier was in her office within an hour. You're suspending my son for surviving attempted vehicular homicide under your care? Diego was back in 2 days. Then things got shady. The Garcia family dropped out of the lawsuit. No explanation, but their dad works for the town. Someone leaned on him. Marco got fired next 20 years fixing buses, gone for performance issues that appeared right after he agreed to testify about the tampered exits. They're picking us off, Dad said at dinner. Making examples. He was right. Mateo's parents told him to stop talking after their insurance spiked. His dad's construction business needed town contracts. Couldn't risk it. 2 weeks later, Dad lost his factory job. Downsizing, they said. But the owner's cousin is on the school board. Dad was the loudest at those meetings. We'll be fine, he told me. But I saw him up at 3 a.m. applying for jobs online. Elena got worse. Stopped eating, scared she'd vomit like kids on the bus. Wouldn't sleep, plagued by nightmares. Mom found her hiding in the closet at 2 a.m., convinced she heard the bus. The hospital admitted her for failure to thrive. That's what they call it when a kid shuts down. The psychiatrist diagnosed PTSD. Like soldiers get, Mom said. She's 6. How does a 6-year-old have PTSD? Trauma doesn't discriminate, the doctor said. The district's lawyer deposed us kids. 8 hours of repetitive questions trying to trip us up. You said he swerved. How many feet? I don't know. I was trying not to die. So you can't confirm the swerving? Javier stopped it. You're badgering minors. We're done. That night, Diego texted our group chat, made copies of everything before they tried grabbing our phones. 3 clouds, plus Dad's firm server. They can't erase this. Smart, because 2 days later, the district lost complaints during a system upgrade. Then everything exploded. Someone sent the FBI a package proof of kickbacks between the transportation department and the bus contractor. Carla's retirement suddenly made sense. Elena finally spoke in therapy. Mom told me what she said. I thought I'd die and never see Luisa again. Is the bad man coming back? The therapist explained he's in jail, but Elena didn't believe it, kept asking for proof. Diego showed me his backup system, organized by date, cross-referenced, multiple copies. Dad says evidence wins, not feelings. The FBI found years of fake safety inspections buses passed with faulty brakes, all to save the contractor money, split with Carla. The state filed charges, criminal charges, against Dr. Larson, Carla, 2 board members. Caldwell got 28 counts, 1 for each kid on the bus. We watched from our classroom as cops led Dr. Larson out in handcuffs. Someone started clapping. Soon, everyone was. The investigation uncovered $32,000 in payments to Carla's husband's consulting firm from the contractor. The whole transportation department was crooked. At Caldwell's sentencing, he took a plea for 5 years, but blamed everyone else, his ex-wife, the district, even us kids, for overreacting. You traumatized 28 children, the judge said. You betrayed their trust. I read my victim impact statement, hands shaking. You stole our ability to trust. Every yellow vehicle makes Elena cry. Every bus makes kids panic. You did that. Diego's backups were key nothing screams innocent, like trying to delete kids' evidence. The district's insurance forced a settlement. Not about money, we wanted them to admit they knew and did nothing. The case led to new state rules. Daily exit checks, random driver testing, complaints to outside investigators. They called it Elena's Law, after my sister, the youngest victim. Elena improved slowly. Therapy twice a week, anxiety meds, and a service dog named Muffin who senses her panic. She can ride in cars but won't touch buses. Probably never will. Diego and I are friends now. Weird how surviving together bonds you. The kid who used to trip me in the hall is now my closest ally at school. The new transportation supervisor started a safety monitor program. 2 kids per bus get direct lines to report issues. No school middleman. Mateo and I signed up instantly. At Caldwell's final sentencing, the judge let us speak. I told him about Elena's drawings, kids who can't sleep, parents who quit jobs to drive their kids. These children were heroes, the judge said. They saved lives and future lives by speaking out. 6 months later, we're changed but surviving, more cautious, less trusting, but we made it together. The new school year starts. I walk Elena to her new school. She refuses buses, and nobody pushes her. You'll be okay, she asks at the entrance. Yeah, Elena, I'll be okay. Promise you'll check the exits? Promise. She hugs me tight before running to class. Our new driver, Mrs. Alvarez, shows us her clean record, tests the exits, and points out the new 911 panic button. I know trust is earned, she says. I'll earn it. Elena won't do activities with transportation themes. No toy buses, no field trip talk, nothing yellow. She had a meltdown over bus drivers in our community helpers unit, the teacher says. She's processing, Mom says. It's affecting her learning. The district offers free counseling for Bus 19 kids. Only 3 families take it. Nobody trusts the district's help. Javier files a separate civil suit. Criminal charges aren't enough, he tells my parents. They need to pay damages. Discovery uncovers more. Carla's husband owned part of the bus contractor. Undisclosed conflict of interest. How deep does this go? Dad asks at dinner. All the way, Mom says. Mateo texts after weeks of silence. Parents are transferring me to a new school. Think distance will help me forget. Does it? Doubt it. Elena asks one night, why didn't the grown-ups protect us? They were supposed to, but they didn't. So we protect ourselves? Yeah, Elena, we do. The state monitors our district for a year, finding issues everywhere: maintenance, food service, administration. The system was rotten. Diego starts a YouTube channel documenting it, gaining thousands of subscribers. The district tries to shut it down, but Javier cites free speech. They created an activist, he tells Dad. Their worst nightmare. Marco wins his wrongful termination suit. The judge orders rehiring with back pay and damages. He takes the money but refuses the job. I won't work for people who risk kids, he tells the news. The new superintendent quits after 2 months, overwhelmed by scrutiny and protests. The state appoints a replacement. Elena's dog, Muffin, goes everywhere with her. The school changed its no pets policy. Some parents complain, but Mom shuts them down. Your kid's comfort isn't more important than my daughter's mental health, she tells one parent whining about allergies. Caldwell gets out early for good behavior, 2 years instead of 5. The prosecutor calls it standard, but it's wrong. Good behavior doesn't erase what he did. The judge tells the news she can't change the parole board's decision. Diego organizes a protest at the hearing. 50 people show up. The board doesn't care. Caldwell walks out smirking. He'll violate parole in 6 months, Javier predicts. Guys like him always do. 3 weeks later, Caldwell's arrested for DUI. Javier was generous. The district's insurance drops them. They self-insure, cutting art, music, sports to cover liability. You did this, a parent yells at Mom during a budget meeting. No, Mom says. The district did this when they let a drunk drive our kids. Elena starts first grade at a private school. We can't afford it, but Mom says we'll manage. She carpools with other families who pulled their kids. Elena's law passes officially. Mandatory reporting to state officials, random drug tests, panic buttons on buses. It shouldn't take almost killing kids for basic safety, Elena Torres says at the signing. Mateo's family moves 2 towns over. He texts sometimes, but it's not the same. Trauma bonds are intense but fade with distance. Diego and I eat lunch daily. Kids think it's weird, but we don't care. He shows me his latest video, maintenance records showing uninspected playground equipment for 3 years. Gonna be a lawyer like your dad? Nah, investigative journalist. More fun. The FBI investigation grows, finding corruption in 6 other districts. Our case exposed something massive. Carla testifies against everyone to avoid prison. Throwing them under the bus, Javier says, grinning. Pun intended. Mom laughs for the first time in months. Elena has good and bad days. Good days. She's almost herself. Bad days. She won't leave her room. Healing's not linear, the therapist says. When will she be okay? I ask. Define okay, she says. Like before. She'll never be like before, but she'll find her new normal. The district holds a healing ceremony on the anniversary. None of us from Bus 19 show up. They plant a tree and speak to empty chairs. Diego live streams it. Look at them pretending to care, he narrates. Where was this when we needed it? Clara Mendoza becomes a whistleblower advocate, speaking nationwide about reporting issues. 28 kids almost died because I didn't push harder, she says. I'll never forgive myself. The superintendent and 2 board members take plea deals, probation, fines, no jail. Not enough evidence, the judge says. Not enough evidence? Dad hurls the newspaper. They have money and lawyers, Mom says. We have truth. Guess who wins? Elena draws a new picture, not a yellow monster, but kids holding hands, facing something dark, off frame. What's this? I ask. Us being brave, she says. Are we winning? Not yet, but we're not alone. Progress, the therapist calls it. The new bus company uses body cameras, daily exit tests with video proof. Should have been standard years ago, Elena Torres says. Diego's channel hits 100,000 subscribers, posting trial updates, district cover-ups. Comments flood in similar stories, covered-up incidents, kids nobody believed. We started something, Diego says. At what cost? I look at Elena playing with Muffin. Too high. The civil trial looms. Javier says we have a strong case, but warns it could take years. The district will delay, appeal, fight. They're hoping we'll quit, he says. Will we? I ask Mom. Never. Elena overhears. Will I have to talk about the bus again? Maybe. I don't want to. You don't have to if you're not ready. She hugs Muffin tighter. I'll never be ready. Caldwell violates parole again bar fight. Back to prison for the full sentence plus 2 years. Diego posts his mugshot. Karma. The state takes over the district, dissolves the board, fires half the administration. Parents drive to the state capitol for meetings. Marco starts Safe Journey Transit with other drivers who quit. Their buses are green, not yellow. Those are good buses, Elena says. No monsters drive those. Small victories. A documentary crew follows up 6 months later, interviewing us separately. Elena's words break me. I learned sometimes the people supposed to keep you safe are the most dangerous. She's 7. Diego's evidence convicts 3 more officials. The corruption reached the county. How many districts are like this? The director asks. All of them, Diego says. They just haven't been caught. The film wins awards. Changes nothing. Elena has a panic attack at a friend's party over a yellow bounce house. We leave early, Muffin pressed against her. The monster found me, she cries. It's just a color, the friend's mom says. Not to her, I snap. We're not invited back. The trial drags on depositions, motions, delays. The district subpoenas Elena's therapy records. Javier fights it and wins, but it takes months. They're trying to bankrupt us, Dad says after another bill. It's working, Mom admits. Diego organizes fundraisers, posts GoFundMe links. His followers donate thousands. Strangers send money. Nobody should pay for justice, one writes. Mateo texts, his new school's better, kids don't know about the bus. Does pretending it didn't happen work? No, but it's easier. Elena starts 2nd grade, still no buses. Muffin and therapy help. Time sort of does. Are you still scared? She asks one night. Sometimes. Of buses? Of trusting the wrong people. She nods, wise beyond her 7 years. Me too. The district settles before trial. Sealed amount, no admission of guilt. They win again, Mom says. They survived, Javier corrects. There's a difference. Elena's law spreads to 12 states, then 20, then 35. Drivers are tested, exits checked, kids get panic buttons. We saved lives we'll never know. Was it worth it? Elena asks. Everything we went through? I think of kids riding safe buses because we spoke up. Yeah, Elena, it was. I still hate buses. Me too. Forever? Probably. She's okay with that. So am I. Some things change you forever. You learn to live with the scars. Diego gets early admission to journalism school. His essays about Bus 19 speaking truth, protecting the vulnerable. You'll change the world, I tell him. We already did. It's been wild questioning everything with you all. Catch you next time. Like the video, it helps more than you know.